In this video, we're going to look at coded data. So we've got some original values, 332, 355, etc. And we have this formula which codes the value, which is y equals x minus 300 over 10. So let's write the coded values for y down. So we do 332 minus 300 divided by 10, and that's going to give me 3.2. And if I repeat the process for all of the numbers, I'll get 5.5, 0.6, 1.7, and then 4. So now what I need from the calculator is the sum of y. I need the sum of y squared, and I need to know the number of values. Well, the number of values in our case is simply just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 3.2, 5.5, 0.6, 1.7, 4. Go to AC, option, one variable calculation. So the sum of y is 15. Sum of y squared from the calculator we get to be 59.74. Now we need to work out the mean and standard deviation of the coded data first. So for part 1, we can say that the mean is y bar is the sum of y over n, which is 15 over 5, which is 3. Now we're going to do the standard deviation. So the standard deviation for y is the square root of the sum of y squared over n minus y bar squared. So in our case, it's going to be 59.74 over 5 minus the mean squared. So we could write that down here. And that's going to give me the following. So, which was square root 59.74 over 5 minus 3 squared is 9. And that gives me 1.72. So now, in the next part of the question, it states to work out the mean and standard deviation of the original data. So what we're going to do, we can use the formula which we've got, so which is y equals the following, which is x minus 300 over 10. So we could change y to y bar. So we get y bar is x bar minus 300 over 10. So we get x bar is 10 times y bar plus 300. So in our case, we're just going to get 10 times 3 plus 300. So the answer is x bar is going to be 330. So when we work out the variance, we need to be careful, because even though the formula is y is equal to x minus 300 over 10, the variance is never affected whether you add or minus a value to the data set. It's only affected if you multiply or divide the variance by a number. So we can drop the minus 300. So we can say that sigma y is sigma x over 10. So we can say therefore sigma x is 10 times sigma y. So in our case, it's 10 times what we found out. In our case, it's going to be 10 times 1.72, which is 17.2. Here's a question for you to try. You can pause the video, and when you're done, I will go through my work solution. Okay, welcome back. So we got our x values. Let's work out the coded values. So we're going to do 807 minus 7 over 80, which would give me 10. Then we're going to do 967 minus 7 divided by 80, which gives me 12. 727 minus 7 divided by 80, which gives me 9. 167 minus 7 divided by 80 gives me 2. 207 minus 7 divided by 80 gives me 2.5. And then we do 767 minus 7 divided by 80, which is 9.5. So now we can do what we did before. Just find out the sum of y squared. We can get those from our calculator. And we need to know what n is. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can just type in the values as before. Go to menu, option 6, 1. Type in the values into our calculator. So we get 10, 12, 9, 2, 2.5, and I believe the last value is 9.5. So go to AC, option 2, and we can write down sum of x is 45. In our case, that's the sum of y. Sum of y squared is 425.5. And we know that n is 6. So y bar is the sum of y over n, which is 45 over 6. So we can get the following: 45 divided by 6, which is 7.5. Now we want to find sigma y. So we can write down the formula for the standard deviation, which is sum of y squared over n minus the mean squared. So in our case, we've got this value ready, which is 425.5 over 6 minus 7.5 squared. So sigma y equals this. Just type it into our calculator. So we get 425.5 over 6 minus 7.5 squared, which is going to be 3.8297. So that's approximately, sigma y is approximately 3.83. So now the next part of the question states to work out the mean and standard deviation of the original data. So let's start off with the equation, which is y equals x minus 7 over 80. So we said that when you've got a question like this for the mean, it's easy. We just change y to y bar, x to x bar, minus 7 over 80. Rearrange it so that x bar is 80 times y bar plus 7. So in our case, it's going to be 80 times 7.5 plus 7. And then we can get our solution. So we're going to get 80 times 7.5 plus 7. And that gives us 607 as the mean. And then you want to work out the standard deviation. So in our case, sigma y is sigma x over 80. So sigma x is 80 times sigma y. In our case, it's going to be 80 times by what we worked out earlier. So 3.8297. 3.8297 and so on. So sigma x, we can work that out here. So that's going to be 80 times 3.8297 and so on. The rough answer. So 306.376. So 306.376. So I get approximately 306 is the solution. We ought to check our result by typing the numbers into the calculator from the original data set. So we get 807. So 807. Then we get 967, 727, 167, 207, 767. So if we go to AC, we go to option, variable calculation, and then we can check that the mean we got for the original data was indeed 607 and it matches the calculator. That's fine. And we now need to check the variance, or sorry, the standard deviation in this case, which is 306, which is correct, which we've got.